All right, let's talk about the new Florida alimony law and how it may catch fire in other Republican-led states. The measure was called SB 1416, and it's a bill that not even Rick Scott, the former Republican governor, would sign. But DeSantis signed it on June 30th, and it became law on July 1st. It ends permanent alimony. Now, that sounds terrible, and it is terrible for the women of Florida who were counting on having permanent alimony because it's mostly going to affect older women. But there are only 7 states in which permanent alimony exists anyway, and those are Connecticut, New Jersey, North Carolina, Oregon, Vermont, and West Virginia. This law caps durational alimony at 3 years and rehabilitative alimony at 5 years. And as always, alimony is terminated if the receiving spouse gets remarried. Here's the part where it gets a little tricky. This new law also allows a judge to modify prior alimony agreements. And they can modify those based on the age, health, and motivation for retirement of the payer. And it also puts the burden of continuing to prove that you need alimony on the recipient. So even though alimony may have been decided at the time of divorce, it can now be challenged over and over and over again. Now, only about 10% of divorces end in alimony in the first place. You have to be married pretty much more than 20 years for a judge to really seriously consider it. 400,000 people currently across the nation are on alimony, and 98% of them are women. Now, with the abrupt ending of permanent alimony and some of these changes in ability to legally challenge things, older women in Florida are saying this new law is going to absolutely ruin their lives.
Hello there. Welcome back to Latest Juice. Now, recently, Governor Ron DeSantis, succumbing to pressure, made a surprising move by signing a measure that significantly restructures alimony laws in the state of Florida. This decision, despite facing 3 previous vetoes in a decade of contentious disputes, ultimately eliminates what has been for a long time known as permanent alimony. The First Wise advocacy group, mainly comprising older women who rely on alimony for their livelihoods, reacted wildly to this development. With this approval, DeSantis has seemingly turned a blind eye to their pleas and condemned them to an uncertain future. These women, who have been divorced since the 1990s, or were stay-at-home moms due to their husbands' choices, are deeply affected by the changes. However, this is absolute laziness, and I don't care about their emotional turmoil. Alimony should only be granted to women who truly deserve it, such as those who have been divorced for a long time or were compelled to be homekeepers. Only traditional wives, who take care of household duties and children, deserve alimony if their spouse's actions lead to divorce. The new law specifies alimony for marriages lasting over 20 years will be capped at 75%. For the retirees, they will not be severely affected, as they will still receive alimony for decades, considering the long duration of their marriages. Governor Ron DeSantis has taken a significant step that has deeply impacted the aspirations of women who plan to marry and quickly divorce, exploiting the system for financial gain. This move has effectively cut off a potential source of income for those seeking opportunistic benefits through divorce. Maybe DeSantis might have been influenced by a video on this channel discussing why a growing number of men are shying away from the institution of marriage. This is a positive trend in the world, and I hope that other states will follow Florida's example by enacting similar measures. For those unfamiliar with the concept of permanent alimony, it is a recurring payment made to an ex-wife each month to sustain the standard of living she had during the marriage. The financial burden of alimony is underscored, with astronomical losses for billionaires, significant sums for millionaires, and substantial payments for those with substantial savings. The prospect of being obligated to make these payments for the rest of one's life, especially if the divorce was not their fault, is distressing. There have been so many cases out in the public exposing potential injustices in alimony demands, instances where wives abruptly end the marriage without valid reasons or falsely accuse their husbands of violence come out every other day. Moreover, some women enter marriage with the expectation of receiving alimony. Financial gain has acted as a significant motivation for such marriages. They enter into marriage with the goal of destroying the man's life and making lifetime earnings from him by law. This raises concerns about the exploitation of alimony laws for personal benefits, potentially causing harm to those who genuinely require financial support after divorce. Many women seem to have their entire life plan laid out even before they walk down the aisle, from the honeymoon to the potential divorce court. A significant number of them choose not to remarry, intending to keep collecting alimony payments from their ex-spouses indefinitely. The concept of permanent alimony appears outdated, as it made more sense in the past when women had limited work opportunities. However, times have changed, and many women willingly opt not to work during their marriages, even if they have children. With children attending school or growing up, they could explore employment opportunities, yet some still choose not to. In such cases, the ex-husband should not be held financially responsible for their decision.
We are strong, independent women. We don't need no man. Women also. Yeah, there's an outcry over taking away lifetime alimony. The law that DeSantis signed in is a step in the right direction. It omitted lifetime alimony in Florida and says that alimony cannot exceed 1/2 the length of the marriage. But apparently these strong, independent women don't have very strong convictions in what they believe, because now they're leaving the Republican Party over this. I mean, because alimony's taken away, they'll no longer be Republicans. And if you read the little subtitle, it's a quote. "My fear is that they'll take me back to court, and I don't have the money for this." Well, how do you think men have felt for years when they've been taken back to court over and over again over child support, over custody of their children, over more alimony, over these long, extensive, financially ruining divorces? I mean, it wasn't the anti-LGBTQ laws, it wasn't the anti-trans laws, it wasn't the abortion laws, taking away their bodily choice, but take away the money that they can get off a man, and they're gonna leave the Republican Party. The greed. And their ability to just publicly say, "I'm not independent. I need a man to pay my way." Well, not wanting to say it publicly. You seriously can't make this shit up. Toxic women are on full display right now.
Even if alimony made sense in the past, enforcing lifetime alimony seems unfair in the modern society. The governor of Florida's actions to address this issue are applauded. Lifetime alimony does not align with modern values and circumstances. It seems unlikely that all women who qualify for alimony have absolutely no work history, education, or face serious disabilities preventing them from working. For the few elderly women who qualify, limited alimony support may be appropriate, but lifetime payments and reliance on Social Security are excessive and outdated. Lifetime alimony harks back to a bygone era that no longer reflects the realities of the modern world. Society faces a choice: either adapt laws to align with modern principles or cling to tradition and adjust the legal framework accordingly. Given the prevailing trend of growing skepticism towards marriage, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the legal system is also evolving in that direction. Some argue that any form of alimony, regardless of its duration, is merely an excuse for lazy women who are averse to working. If one has the freedom to leave a relationship at any time, it also entails the responsibility to take care of oneself when such a decision is made. One cannot expect to maintain the same standard of living while demanding that another person funds it. In conclusion, the concept of permanent alimony appears increasingly outdated and impractical in today's world. Women, like men, should pursue independence and financial stability rather than relying on alimony as a long-term crutch. The governor's efforts to address this matter align with modern values, where personal responsibility and self-reliance are emphasized over lifetime financial dependence on ex-husbands. Requesting ongoing financial support from someone after a separation is as strange as expecting your ex-wife to continue taking care of household chores, cooking meals, and engaging in intimate activities just because they used to do so during the relationship. What do you think? Tell us down in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe and activate the notifications bell. Remember to like and share the video, champs. Thank you for watching.